more at the end, but that's
Yeah,
that'll
that should
be
be good right now.
okay. So let me go ahead and see what's going on here. Share my screen. All right. Okay. So the idea here is that you're taking an antiderivative of 9x minus 5 dx. So one of the answers, like this is kind of where I'm going with this, with that other question you asked. One of the answers will be 9 half x squared minus 5x plus 8. Okay. So if you were to take the derivative of this, which is 2 times 9 over 2 x to the 2 minus 1 minus 5, you would find that this simplifies to 9x minus 5, which is the answer there. That's what I'm referring to when I say take the derivative to find the answer.
Okay.
And you know, b
So
would be like 9x squared minus 5x plus 8. And that's derivative would be 18x minus 5. Now there's an even better way using your calculator. If you want me to show you, it's more
okay.
numerical, but it
Wait.
could be good.
So to start solving this one, what's the first step? The
Well, so what you have to tell me is like, do you want me to show you how to do it with the multiple choice, or do you want me to show you how to do it without there being a multiple choice?
um we can
Because
start.
they're kind of
Well, which
different.
was easiest?
I think it's easiest to learn the integral rules for this, but you know
Okay.
that's coming from someone that's done millions of these. But the integral rule, if you have a constant times x to the n dx, you add 1 to the exponent and divide by the new exponent. So this is really 9x to the 1. So you add 1 to the exponent and divide by the new exponent.
Okay.
So that's thing one. The integral of just a constant is kx. So the integral of minus 5 is minus 5x, but then you always add a plus c to it. So you'll see that this becomes 9 halves x squared minus 5x plus c. And this is your cost function. Now we have to figure out how to use the fixed cost. But any questions on how to integrate?
No.
Okay. So the fixed cost is when x equals 0, the cost is 8. So you're putting 0 in for x, and you end up, these all go away, 0 minus 0 plus c. So you end up getting that c equals 8. And that goes back in. So c of x equals 9 halves x squared minus 5x plus 8. And that's your final answer.
Is that like have anything to do with the equation or no? Because the equation saying it's $8.
Well, the 8's at the end. It's not always, but most of the time in your class it is.
Okay. Okay. So the cost function formula, the K is the number in front of the X, and then
Yes.
okay. All right.
Right. You sent 24. There was some sort of an issue with their 24 in a previous time I helped someone with this. So I would like to skip past that.
Wait,
Um,
sorry, could you scroll up? What was the answer for
9 over 2 x squared minus 5x plus 8.
okay.
All right.
You
So we're
said
going to
there's an
skip down
issue
to,
with 24.
yeah, we're going to skip 24. There's something weird
Okay.
with the answer. I don't know, but we'll get plenty of others done here to get you up to the requirements. So this problem here, do you want the answers or do you want explanation or a little bit of
Um,
both?
a little bit of both.
Okay. So delta x is b minus a over n, which is 2 minus minus 2 over 4. That's a, that's b, that's n. So that becomes 4 over 4, which is 1. So you start at the leftmost endpoint, -2, and you add this delta x, and you'll see that you have 5 values here. I'm just drawing them one more time because I'm going to need them for other parts of the problem. So for the left sum, you use these right here. Okay. For the right, we're going to use these points right here, and you'll see what I mean by that in a moment here. So for the left sum, you take delta x and you multiply it by f of -2 plus f of -1 plus f of 0 plus f of 1. And those numbers come from these values here. There's 4 of them because n equals 4. Now this looks way more complicated than it actually is because the function is -x² plus 6, and we know that delta x is 1. We just computed that. So it's 1 times, and then we're just putting -2 in for this. So it's negative parentheses -2 squared plus 6. That's f of -2 plus -1 squared plus 6. That's f of -1 plus -0 squared plus 6 plus -1 squared plus 6, like that.
Okay.
Okay, now that's even more complicated it needs to be because when you square a negative, it's positive. So like even though we wrote all this, you want to think -2 squared, -1 squared, 0, and then -1 squared again. And then since you're adding 6 4 times, you can say plus 24 here. And you can use a calculator. It's just that you don't want to overcomplicate. This is -4, -5, -6. This ends up being 18. So will you try that for the first one, please?
18, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
Now for the right one, it's really similar. It's delta x, but this time it's f of -1 plus f of 0 plus f of 1 plus f of 2. And by symmetry, you're going to see that it's basically the same. It's the -1 squared plus the 0 plus -1 squared plus -2 squared times the 1. So it is also ends up being plus the 24. It's basically the same thing. So you can just remember that. It ends up being 18 again.
And for this method, are you always using the same like numbers? -2 to 2?
The 3 times I've seen this, in the last month, they've all been the same. So yeah, I guess.
Okay.
All right. If there was if there's a reasonable way to help you on the exam, I would. I don't think you can get sort of outside help. So um,
Oh yeah, it was.
I think it's like they have it locked down. So C is the average of the two answers, 18 plus 18 divided by 2, which is 18. D is probably the most difficult. They want you to use the midpoint. So it's the midpoint of all these. It's minus 1.5, minus 0.5, 0.5, and 1.5. So it ends up being delta x again times -1.5 squared plus 6 plus -0.5 squared plus 6 plus -0.5 squared plus 6. I'm just putting it back into this function over and over and over again.
Okay.
Plus 1.5 squared, -1.5 squared plus 6. So again, like the others, it's really just -1.5 squared plus -0.5 squared plus -0.5 squared plus -1.5 squared plus the 24. So this is -2.25 plus -0.25 plus -0.25 plus -2.25 plus 24. So this is -2.5 negative 2.5, which is negative 5 plus the 24 is 19.
Right. And then these next ones with the graph, I also couldn't figure these out.
Yeah, I got 35 next here. So the one on the left is just asking to calculate the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle is 1/2 base times height. The base is 15. The height is, what did they 7? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which ends up being, let me count them right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it's 7. Could you just confirm that? It's really hard to
Oh,
tell.
the height?
Yeah, 1, 2, 3,
Well, it's not,
4.
it's in like the middle of one.
Yeah, that's what I see as well. Is that what you think? All right, well, we're gonna
It's
find
like
out here.
right
So
above 7.
let's
Maybe
call
like
it 7 for the moment
maybe
and see
7.5.
if it works. This is ends up being 105 divided by 2. Will you try that?
No, it says
If it,
that's wrong.
so let's go with, like you said, 7.5. Way too difficult. What you guys are doing. Okay, so this is just gonna make it more. It's just gonna be a fraction over 415 times 7.5 divided by 2. All right, I get 225 over 4. Hopefully that works.
Yeah, that works.
All right. For the next one here, there's actually two triangles. It's hard to see. There's that little one there on the right, which I know is really hard to see, and then that bigger one there on the left.
Okay.
So for part B, it's still 1/2 base times height. The first base is 15, and then 16, 15, 14. No, 14. This is 14, isn't it? 16, 15, 14. So 14 and 14 plus 1/2, 1 times 1. So the one on the right's here, the little one. That's the other one on the left. Um,
And then, okay, and then you add them together.
yeah, so I get 197 divided by 2.
Okay, that was right.
Right. Grab the next one here. This is 36. All right, so this area here, it's a rectangle. So that the area of that rectangle is 2 times 4, which is 8. And then this other one is a quarter circle. So the area of a circle is pi r squared, but if you want only a quarter of it, you take a quarter. Uh, and then the radius is this distance here, which is 4. So
What's
it's
the
1
area
over
of the rectangle? Sorry, base just
just
based on height.
just base times height, yeah.
Mm.
And so this becomes 4 pi. So the area total is 8 plus 4 pi, and you leave it like that.
And what's the other shape? Would you call that like half
Quarter circle.
quarters?
Quarter circle. Think of it like a circle. You, you cut it in half, once, and then you cut it in half again.
Okay.
Big, big slice of pie or pizza if you like that. All right, let me know when we can go on to
Sorry,
part
what
B.
was the answer of that?
Right there in the box, 8 plus 4 pi.
Okay. Okay.
Is that good?
Yeah.
All right, so the next one here, you've got another quarter circle. So that's 1/4 pi r squared. The radius this time is 2. Ends up just being pi when you simplify.
Is the
And then the
radius
area,
like the base?
it is. Yes.
Okay.
Please ask. I'm assuming you know all this, which maybe is a dangerous thing to do, but you just tell me, hey, I don't know these formulas, haven't seen them in a while. That's fine. So triangle is 1/2 base times height. Base is 4, height is 2. So the total together is pi plus 4.
Okay.
Okay. So the next problem I have is 38.
Yeah.
All right. So it says use left endpoints here. This is actually a lot like the one that we were doing earlier. It's delta x times v of 0 plus v of 1 plus v of 2. And
Is
and the width question,
is delta x used for the endpoints?
it's like it's the width between the like x values or the t's, but think of them as x's.
Okay.
So it's like 1 minus 0 is 1 or 2 minus 1 is 1.
Okay.
And then you're just taking the velocities at each output there. So basically, you're just grabbing the 3 bottom numbers and you're multiplying by 1, which doesn't change anything. So this ends up being 19.5. So please check that and then let me know if part C is, or part B is right endpoints.
Yeah, right endpoints.
Okay. I'm going to grab this question one more time so you can see it in the notes. But it ends up being these 3 values. So the right is, again, delta x, which is still 1, times v of 1 plus v of 2 plus v of 3, which is 1 times 5.5 plus 5 plus 3.5. So you add those all up and you get
What's
40.
going in as V?
The it's like
Oh,
think of it, yeah. Sorry, yeah, I
oh,
didn't maybe make that clear.
okay,
The v of 1 just means at time 1, time 2, time 3.
okay. So do you time multiply the 5 by the 2 or no?
No, this just means the functional output. That like v of 1 is 5.5, v of 2 is 5, v of 3
Okay,
is 3.5. If you think back to like tables with functions and stuff.
okay, yeah, that worked. Okay. All right, yeah, I'm officially at 80%.
Great, that's good news because that's I know you can't even do anything until you get in there. Right. So the next one you had asked me about, which we can do right here. Is it 3 zeros and a 5? Yeah. Okay. So your calculator will do this. I think we talked about like math 9, FN nth, and you're using a TI 84. Do you have a TI 84?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. So if you do, it'll have these. It'll have a box, parentheses, and then D box, right? So
yeah.
you're gonna put 1 in. Now you don't have infinity, so you might try like 10, 100, 1,000. You'll get pretty close at some point. You shouldn't have to go that much further. And then you just have to put this in.
Okay. Because I did this and I thought like I used like the 10,000 or whatever, and I thought I was doing it, and then it was completely different to the answer I was getting on my calculator. So that's why I was
You do
confused
have
with the
you do
problem.
have to go up pretty far on this one.
Okay.
And you can start using 10 to the 1, 10 squared, 10 cubed, 10 to the 4th. You got to go up pretty far. Now, I can just give you the answer right now, but if you want, you could try this out until you get it. But the answer is 2,000.
It's 2,000.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I did like one like 100,000. I got 16.
You've got really far to get the answer on this
Okay,
one.
I'll just put in 2,000. Okay.
Okay, so then the next problem you sent, I mean, and this is like you probably sent probably the most difficult one of these to try to figure out, but
Which one?
the this 48. So the derivative, this is how I typically show students this unless you really want to learn it. The derivative of this answer is this right here. So there's, like I said, there's a couple ways to do this. One is to actually like take derivatives. This one requires product rule and chain rule. It's pretty complicated. There's
Okay.
also what's called n deriv on your calculator, which is a shortcut to do this numerically.
Would that be in math?
Yes, it's math. So here's how you would do that. You would do n deriv of the answer without the constant. You don't need the constant. So you're gonna have to put that in. And then you need to pick an odd x value. So pi is always a good one
Why?
because
How would
it's
I
weird.
fill it in? Because it looks complicated in the
Right.
calculator.
Well, you got to either yes, at some point, right? You got to be like, all right, I got to. This is what I'm going to do. You can distribute the two into both if you want, or you can literally write it exactly the way it's there. Um, I believe your calculator has like the fractions and stuff and the exponents. You just enter it in exactly the way you see it.
Well, it says D over D. And then there's like a blank thing next to
Right.
D.
Right. So that's what you're talking about here. D over dx.
Okay.
That's what you're asking. Yes.
And then I just input it like that.
Yeah, and then you have to specify the x value. I think it says like x equals.
Is that? Oh, okay. I got like 2.232.
Okay, so whatever number you get there, 2.232, you then go back to the original. You don't do n deriv. You just put that pi, for example, in. So you just do 2 times pi e to the 7 pi. And that should give you the same answer. Although I don't believe there's actually no way that this will. So maybe you didn't quite enter this incorrectly.
Oh,
'Cause this answer is pretty large. I mean, it's like in the, I'll say the hundreds to maybe a thousands.
oh no, I got the right. Uh,
Oh, maybe there's a times 10 to something here or times E.
oh yeah. There it says
Okay. Well,
E10.
that makes a big difference. Yeah.
Okay,
So
it's
then,
like two
so
point three two six seven four nine.
sure. That part's not important. The 10 to the whatever is really because it tells the order of magnitude. But so that's the approach. You can use n deriv of the answers at a point. Now you got to pick an odd x value. Like don't pick one, don't pick zero. Pi is a good one because it's weird. But then you have to put that back into the original, but you're not using n deriv for the original.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so that is everything you sent over, or I snipped. So if you want to share your screen, we'll work through two more problems, or I can sort of talk you through a few more if you
Okay.
want, whatever you would like.
We can do. I wrote down some numbers. Oh, these ones, like finding the area between curves.
Yeah.
I kind of
This
want to practice that.
is definitely like a pure calculator type question. So
Oh, it is. Okay.
yeah, you'll definitely use your calculator for this. So
And then this
um,
one.
that
And
one
I
as
think
well.
that's all. After these two, I'll be good.
Okay, I'll grab these two snips. Okay, let me share my screen. All right. So let's just find the area between the two curves. So you do need a graph to find the intersection. Now that's where if your calculator can really come in handy. One of the graphs looks like that, the other looks like that, and you've got to find these two intersection points. Would you like me to show you, or do you know how to find these two intersection points?
I know how to, I think I know how to graph it. I'll try it now. Um, so the one is, do you want the X value or the Y?
All right, and I graphed this wrong. It's the X value. That's it's just terrible. It's just
Okay,
really
I
bad.
got
Right.
X for one. And then
So do you have the two intersection points, the X values?
one of them is, sorry, 6. And then I'm getting the other one.
Right.
The other is -8, I believe.
Okay. So those give you the bounds of your integral.
Okay.
Okay. And then it's top minus bottom. And the top is the line because you only care about the region in between them. So in your problem, that's 11 minus 2x. The bottom is in parentheses. That's very important because you will get the wrong answer, or it'll be
What
one of
is the
multiple choice.
formula? Like, how do I write it out?
The top function is the line 11 minus 2x. The bottom is the quadratic. The
Okay.
line's on top, the quadratic's on the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry. You're not seeing my screen. Sorry, I went back to the screen.
That's okay.
That's why. Yeah, okay. So it's top minus bottom. Top is the line. Bottom is the quadratic. Make sure you put the bottom in parentheses.
Okay.
If you don't, you could get something really, really unusual. And then you're just using your calculator again, math 9, FNN. Questions on that?
Um,
Okay. Can we move on to the next one, or you need to?
oh, okay. No, that's
Okay.
pretty.
All right. So this one is similar. There's a breakpoint right in there. So the idea is that the area above the x-axis is positive, the area below is negative. The way to find the total area, which is what this is asking for, I know it doesn't say total area, but the way they're picturing it, it's like that's positive, that's negative. So make that positive. Is to use absolute value,
Okay.
and you're going from 0 to 4. That's 4. That's 0.
I got 21.3.
So don't forget that math, enter, convert to a
Okay.
fraction.
64/3.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, that was simple.
I like hearing that.
Yeah, I think those are all my questions.
Um, we got some time. If you would like, happy to do some more with you or give you any other guidance, needed to help. But let me know.
Um,
Any,
I think I'm good actually. I'm just gonna keep reviewing the notes that you're gonna send after.
yes.